What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to Tech and Tactical. I've got something really cool today. I've got the Kershaw CQC-10K. This is one of those knives that I've kind of had my eye on for a long time, but I never pulled the trigger on. Not sure why, but now that I have it, I'm just completely blown away. I love this knife. This knife, you can buy it on Amazon. Links down in the description. Please use those links. It helps the channel. You can buy this knife on Amazon for 35 bucks. Sometimes I see it even a little less than that. So kind of a no-brainer. I think the only downside is the steel 8CR 14 MOV. Now it does have 1% higher chromium, so I guess as opposed to 8CR 13, at least you're going to have a little better corrosion resistance. But I'd really like to see Kershaw start using some better knife steels, especially since it seems like everyone else is. All right, let's do some specs, and then I'll tell you what I think of the knife. All right, quick specs off the Blade HQ website, and then we'll break out the ruler, we'll measure it ourselves, we'll do that whole thing. So, again, it's a Kershaw Emerson, which is the other reason I wanted to get it. I wanted to get one of these Kershaw Emersons. And the real Emersons are $250. So that's not something I think I'd buy anytime soon. But this is the CQC-10K. And then this is green G10, and it has, as I said before, 8CR 14 MOV blade steel. G10 is really cool. It's just on the one side because you have your frame lock on the other side. So, at first I didn't really like that. I thought that was kind of funny. I don't know why makers did that, but now that I've kind of used the knife, I actually really do like the way that it is set up. Overall length is 8.5 inches, so this is not a short knife or a small knife by any means. And let's see here. There you go. All right, so they're saying 8.5 inches, and the blade length is 3.5 inches. So not a small knife, and that's about the numbers that I'm getting. Yeah, that is the number, 3.5 on the dot. Blade thickness is 0.12, so you have a decent thickness there. And kind of this dramatic upswept buoy shape, which I think is actually really cool. I was worried about how sharp this was going to be when I got it. This is extremely sharp. This is one of the sharp, out of the three knives that I just got, the Ganzo, the Kershaw, this one, being the Kershaw, and the Bestech Hornet. This is actually the sharpest one that I got. They're saying clip point design. I'm thinking calling that a buoy. I guess technically it might be the same thing. Not all buoys are clip points, but I think that the buoy blade shape is a clip point. So, although this certainly doesn't look like it's got this dramatic upsweep on it. Almost looks like Persian or something. And then stonewash finish. And I do like a stonewash finish. That's going to hide scrapes and scratches. There's a couple angles for you guys of the finish. You can also somewhat see the edge. It looks like it's like a 600 grit, which is a common factory grit. But the way that they did it is just super sharp. I do think this is a hollow grind too, which kind of helps with how slicey it is. Let's see here. Handle thickness 0.41, so it's not a very thick handle. It's kind of thin. It's relatively thin. There's a shot of that thumb disc. That's how you would open it if you're not using that wave feature. And I posted on my Instagram a video of me using that wave feature. It does work very well on this particular knife. Okay, they're saying 5 ounces. Let's go ahead and throw it on the scale, like we like to do. .16 ounces. So this is not a light knife, but something about it. It carries, just carries really well. It doesn't feel overly heavy. So over 5 ounces I do consider heavy, and I think that that's on the upper end of what I would consider carrying. But this one doesn't, it doesn't feel too bad in the pocket. The pocket clip is reversible, and it's only tip up, of course, because if you did tip down, the wave feature wouldn't work. So when you're carrying it like this, let me back the camera up. When you're carrying it like this and you pull it out of your pocket, this gets caught on your pocket and opens up, and it does it very well. But the cool thing is it doesn't do it unless you're trying, which I think is really cool. So the thing doesn't just pop open out of your pocket. You got to kind of drag it along the back of your pocket. It doesn't just kind of do it on its own. Country of origin, this is a Chinese-made Kershaw, but a lot of the Chinese-made Kershaws are perfectly good knives. I wouldn't steer anyone away from this particular knife. In fact, I really, really like this knife. This is kind of maybe my current favorite of the inexpensive Kershaws. Now, that doesn't include like the Launch series. Like I just did a review on the Launch 4. I mean, that's certainly a nicer knife than this, but for the price, this thing is really, really great. $35. It's just really great. I really like the cool little Emerson logo that you get there. I like the little thumb disc. I really like the wave feature. I like the jimping on the knife. It is very comfortable to use. The handle's great. You really lock in, and you feel like you could even use it this way if you were, I think in a self-defense situation you'd want to really get a good grip, but I think in a certain self-defense situation you could get yourself more reach, and this thing kind of locks into the back here. So I guess you could use it that way if you wanted to. I do like, this is my only knife that has this kind of G10 on one side and the, flat stainless on the other. I was one of the people that didn't like that initially, but I actually do like it now that I own it. The lockup is quite good. It's not, coverage is good. I'd say it's fine. If you close this thing is going to cut your finger. So, I have the tendency to want to go like this and like push it shut, but it's going to cut my thumb if I do that. So you got to kind of get your fingers out of the way. The deployment is good, but it really does work better waving it out of your pocket using the wave feature. I mean, you can flick it open, but it's not like the greatest little flipper in the world. But you can pop it open. Such a cool design on this one. Here's another shot of the other side. Good looking G10. It's not rough, but it provides a good, a nice good amount of grip. You got the little Emerson guy on there, the little skull, which is cool. You do have a lanyard hole. Oh, here's another thing which I found interesting. I've never owned an Emerson before. The hardware is like normal hardware. Those are like Phillips screws, and it's a flat head pivot, which I found a little funny. I thought at first that they were like trying to be cheap because it was a Chinese one, but then I looked online and the regular, I've just never noticed before, the regular Emersons use this type of hardware too. Most knives use Torx. So that's kind of an interesting point. That's pretty much all I got to say on this one. I do like it. I'm gonna carry this one. I'm gonna use this one and carry it and kind of see what I think of it over time. But so far, so good. I really like this knife. I think out of the three that I just got, I think I do like the Hornet the most. Let me put all of them out in front of you here. I do have all of them here on the table. So those are the three new knives that I got. And, I really like them. I really like all three, honestly. I don't know if I could pick a favorite at the moment, but I would say that these two have been getting most of the pocket time. And this thing is just so darn unique. If you haven't seen the review for these, go check them out. They're on the channel. Thanks again for coming. Please like and subscribe. I'm going to put links below for all these items. Please use those links. That does help the channel. And then please comment below. Tell me which one you guys like. Tell me what you're carrying. Tell me what you want to see me review. And then thanks for coming later on. Now, the CQC did come very sharp. Okay? This was probably pretty much the sharpest one of the three. Pretty effortlessly goes right through the paper. And then Let's see. I do have a little bit of the seatbelt material that we can try. So there it is. And it pretty effortlessly goes through that too. So I'm super happy with how sharp this thing did come. You know, I've used it for a couple days, maybe 2 days, and it still is quite sharp. Sharpened the whole way back, so it's got a decent little choil back there. Just really happy with the way that this one came as far as the sharp, you know, how sharp.